like ng believer and non-believer both try to tackle these paranormal cases and these cases of possession. Kaya yung pala kung nabasa ko lang yung script, ma-hook ka na talaga into the meat of the story. Like Father Javi is not just a priest. When he was already a psychiatrist beforehand, who came from a very, very religious family. So he was being groomed by his mother to be a priest. And he was very resistant towards it. Until nagkaroon ng illness yung younger sister niya, na-convince yung mom niya na possession na. But he thought it was just drug abuse and lashing out. Siguro dahil sa strict environment na kinalakihan nila. So, dinicide niyang kupkupin yung younger sister niya to personally look after her. Tinas niya sa sarili niya. Kaya nung nag-fail siya, tsaka siya pumasok sa priesthood to the clock to try to understand something na hindi niya maintindihan. Siguro mahirap sipunayan, mahirap sa ego niya na namatay yung sister niya dahil sa kanya. So, he tried to understand it. Kung totoo nga ba na na-possess yung kapatid niya o kung droga lang ba or other types of maybe it's an undiagnosed psychosis or mental illness, mga gano'n.
Alright. Ayan, naglalaro na kayong din about the character and also kasama natin dito sa unahan si Mr. Jude and of course Mr. John. So later on, pwede kayong magtanong sa kanila kung meron kayong mga iba pang questions. But for now, pwede na natin umpisahan ang ating intimate mini get-together. Let's get it on. Thank you guys for coming at pwede na kayong mag-umpisa, magtanong sa ating cast kay Mr. Jude and of course kay Mr. John. Alright, sino po ang mga gustong magtanong? Ayan, sige. Alright.
Good afternoon. My name is Rodriguez For MALEDICTO. Tanong ko lang, parang may napanood ako na this story is based on a something like a Panak story or something like that. Tama po ba yun? Or iba, or was it from something from different story talaga or original story?
So this script was, we conceived this concept specifically for Fox. I won a Malaga award, but it wasn't this story. But everything I've learned about writing, of course, I utilized in the making of this story. And actually, yeah, I did conceive of this the year I won. So I was in the zone at that time. So yeah, it was a good year.
Also, given there's so many possession movies out there, locally and internationally, why go with another something like possession-related movie again for Fox and also for your story?
Okay, so I came up with Maledicto in the year 2015. Right, that was maybe a few months before exorcism and possession movies suddenly blew up. But at the same time, anticipating that, I wanted to do something different because a lot of the possession movies done both in the West and here tend to focus on the actual possession, the demon, the theatrics of possession. What I wanted to do to make this different was I wanted to create a story. Not so much, there's possession, yes, but a story that focused on the characters who had to deal with possession. The movie is a horror thriller. But the original pitch, I characterized the concept as a horror procedural. What is a procedural? Procedural is something like CSI or NCIS, wherein you dealt with the process or the procedure of dealing with certain phenomena. And I wanted to highlight the people who had to deal with exorcism, with the demon. And especially the contrast na you have this ancient phenomenon that still captures the imagination in the age of science. And that there are people who are trained and who have procedures to deal with this supernatural phenomenon in this day and age. So I wanted this to be about the characters, about the procedure of exorcism, and about the experience of being possessed. In that way, that's how I want to differentiate this story from all the other possession and exorcism movies out there.
I actually have a question. Did you say that you wrote it with the characters in mind, like how they react in such a situation? But reading the script and actually having done the movie, I found that the lore of it, the world building was very thorough. Sobrang meaty. Kumbaga, if I go to a different genre naman, with classic fairy tales na yung difference from once upon a time there was a king in a castle, blah 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 blah, yun na yung kwento, as opposed to something like J.R.R. Tolkien would write, The Lord of the Rings, and right now, nanonood tayo ng Game of Thrones. Na may, okay, Aegon the Conqueror went from Essos to, Westeros, mga ganun na, it seems na Maledicto is in that similar vein, instead of once upon a time there was a priest and a nun that went about solving cases. Buo yung mundo. So paano how did you guys come up and conceptualize that whole world?
Actually, well, first off, we realized that for the characters to be compelling, it also helps for the setting to be compelling. So we had to do our research about not just, of course, the procedure of exorcism, we had to do that. But at the same time, we had to do some research about supernatural elements. We had to localize this. I remember...
The pre-Hispanic.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that because I think one of the first comments to me when we got the script back, sabi ni Fox, we had to localize it further. All right. So when we got together, me and my other co-writers in Overman, we decided the best way to localize this is to make the lore feel local. So we had to do research. We didn't want to just crib from the Asphalt Project or something. We had to come up with something original, but at the same time, it feels plausibly local. Right? So the demon and all that, they're not strictly taken from Philippine mythology or whatnot, but they were designed to look like they could have been.
Well, may synergy of these different cultures.
Yeah, synergy not just of our mythological Hispanic past, but our colonial experience as well.
Alright.
Next question.
Alright, next. Naman tatanong po? There's a mic. Alright.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jude. And I want to throw the question to the two gentlemen, except for the lead character. Of all the men that I've known, sila lahat yung takot, mas unang takot when they're faced with elementals or when we get to talk about principalities at home. Ganon din ba kayo when you're faced with this kind of, or when we talk about things na beyond science? Yes, Jude.
Thanks, Jude. I personally don't get scared very easily. Ako natatakot ako when and if I can feel that things in front of me and around me is a lot more real than supernatural, right? And I think that's why this movie works, because it is a tug of war between science and the supernatural. Like Tom said, Father Javi was a psychiatrist and he's a man of science before he became a man of the cloth, right? And it was that debate internally in him because of things that happened that made him kind of try to balance both. So to answer your question, no, I don't scare easily, but I do get scared when I know that it is a mixture of science, reality, and supernatural, right? Because if it's just fantasy, in my mind, it's entertainment, and I just know it's out there, right? Pero pag alam kong may katotohanan na to, and things are becoming a little bit too real, that's when I think doon ako nangingilabot. And I think this this kind of is in that realm where science and religion kind of intersect, which is why I think it's a very, very realistic type of story.
I can think of a realistic horror story.
Very well said. Sir John?
Same question. All right. Am I easily scared by thinking or talking about supernatural or the supernatural, the principalities and the elementals and stuff like that? Generally, I'm a skeptic, so I'm not really that scared. Like, I go into a forested area, I'm not the time to say tabi-tabi po and that sort of stuff. And so far, my track record is, hindi pa naman ako kinukuha ng maligno. But when I was writing this movie, I was doing research, in fact. We had to watch a lot of exorcism videos. We had to find a lot of material about exorcism. And when we were able to find some of the very few videos that featured actual exorcisms, because in general, the church doesn't like the videos being recorded. But when we came across some of the few that were allowed to record real-life exorcisms, actually, kinalabutan kami dun. Not just me, but everybody was involved in the writing team. And like Sir Jude says, there's this verging of the supernatural into the natural that made it feel freaky and unreal. So after that, and after a few strange incidents when I was in the process of writing this script, I've decided that I would not write this script at night. So the entire script I wrote in the daytime because the really weird stuff happens at night. I don't know why. I don't really know why. I didn't want to delve too far into it. In fact, talking about it, it's more comfortable now because it's still shining outside.
Thank you so much, Sir John. And ladies and gentlemen, alright, bago tayo mag-follow-up question, please welcome the father sabi sa movie, Miss Ina Dadalen. Hi. Alright. Let's go. Ayan. Miss Ina Dadalen. There we have it. Na napakagaling din ng pagkakaarte naman talaga. Ayan, sige. Pwede na tayo mag-proceed ata sa ating follow-up question.
In your research, if you're faced in that kind of situation, what are the things that you need to do when you don't have anyone who would know you need to alam kung paano mag-exercise?
Well, to take some of the advice from Ghostbusters, who you're gonna call. you call the expert. Because I have heard stories in our neighborhood there was this frail, this was years ago, like a frail 15, 16-year-old girl who the neighbors were saying was possessed and nobody could hold her down. Like 4 or 5 burly men just threw to the side. And faced with that situation, I say call the expert. What am I going to do?
Actually, we spoke with a paranormal expert from our somewhere.
Alright. No more
Minention
questions.
nga niya isa doon, we asked them ano yung difference from a possession to someone na may sakit. Kung nag-testing kami ni Ina sa Mars, nakausap namin isang paranormal expert nila, Sir Tony, I didn't get his last name. Pero sabi niya kapag unnatural daw yung script, lalo na kapag ano na yung edad or hindi naman wala naman sa physical niya, hindi na daw sakot minsan ng adrenaline rush lang. Then wala na sa, it's a sign of something extra or paranormal.
One last for me now. Your mom appeared in several horror movies in the past.
Yes.
Did you get any tips from her?
No. I didn't think to ask advice from her. Kasi syempre, coming from a showbiz family, syempre, andun ako sa, I don't have my own identity. I'm always in the shadow of my mom, shadow of my dad. So syempre, gusto ko, when I did this, I really wanted it to be just me. You can't really teach ask, Mom, how do you act like you're possessed? Kasi that might be her own take on how she can play a possessed role. Siyempre, I want to be my own take on, how I can act.
Have you watched movies of your mom before?
I think I only watched them. Siguro mga dalawa lang or isa lang yung pinapit ko. Kasi ang dami talaga. And syempre, yung anak ni Janice or yung mga ganyan-ganyan, nakatanggap na sa kanya. Like whenever they see her, they say, anak ni Janice or something like that. Syempre, I wanted this role to be ako lang talaga. And I wanted, hopefully, after people watch this movie, sana nakatatak din sa kanila yung role ko. And of course, yung role niya.
Thank you.
Correct. And ikaw talaga ang literal na anak ni Janice. Oo, di ba? Before we move on sa ating mga questions and answer, kwentuhan mo muna kami sandali dahil nagkwento na si Father Sabi ng kanyang character. Bilang ayan, tinatanong ko na kwentuhan mo ng content ng iyong character. Okay, ako si Mara dito. Siya yung nagkikisama kapatid ni Father Sabi. And sobrang close kasi sila. Kasi syempre silang dalawa
Ano yung nakapasok sa pusong bato
ni Father Javity, yes. So siya, and sobrang bait niya, and they come from a religious family. So when this type of thing happens sa kanya, parang yun yung nag-shape sa kung ano yung kung ano yung Father Javi right after namatay si So, feeling ko, in my own opinion, siguro ito yung naging foundation ng buong nangyayari right after she died.
Catalyst.
Yes. Correct. Alright, sige, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next question.
I'm Alan Santon Stars. Just want to ask the actors, please tell us your experience doing this film, and especially si Tom, this is your first time to play a role of a priest.
Actually, yes. Our first
How was the experience? Meron bang mga kakaiba kapag na nangyari during the shoot? Anyone share that experience with us?
For me, there was yung talagang tumatak sa akin. May ganun si Direct Mark about Luis, pero more than that, yung talagang tumatak sa akin, hindi ko maintindihan. Nag-shoot kami sa isang abandoned school dahil nasunog ng 2008. Tapos nung ginawa, actually yung nakita eksena sa trailer, nung pumasok ako na naka-brown jacket, kami yun isang classroom na pinagbukang bahay, parang yung shantytown doon ginawa. So nasunog yung eskwelahan, outside doon, parang may lockpacking na nakalagay doon sa room, kasi nasa labas yung monitor nila direct. So nandun ako, nakaupo kami sa labas, pinapanood namin yung tape. Bigla na lang ako may narinig na nahulog na isang sunog na sa anak, malaki-malaki as long as this whole table. Kaso yung problema, itong buo, clear. All of the trees na sunog, malayo. So this is all like clear blue skies and a clear field. Yung parang basketball court nila. So, dami namin, saan nanggaling yung sa ano yun, bigla na lang from out of the blue. Kasi bigla ko na nakita ako like dito, parang ano na siya, nahuhulog. Tapos ang lakas ng kampas ng bagsak. Buti walang na bagsakan. So I found that kind of weird.
How was your experience playing the role of a priest?
I enjoyed it. It was my first time. Well, kahit sa daming beses na nakasala ko sa mga teleserye, mga guests, wala pa ako naging role ng priest. Kaso dito, it's an offbeat type of character of a priest kasi hindi siya yung traditional na priest per se talaga. He has his own agenda. So sa pamilya ng priesthood nila, sa parish nila, si Father Javi yung medyo black sheep. Siya yung crass. Like I said, Mara nga is Javi's, how I imagine Mara is siya yung puso ni Javi. Siya yung ipapalagod sa kanya. Kasi other than that, talagang he's a jerk. I want to use stronger words. Baka hindi mapiplip lang. But he's kind of rough around the edges until Mara started talking to someone later on. Then it's really I think in a way he sees a bit of Mara in not only in Agnes but more so in Sister Barbie. Napapalambot na rin ni Sister Barbie yung puso niya gaya ng nagagawa ni Mara. Although natin na romantic way, of course.
Hindi na naman. Ikaw meron ka experience na kaibigan or friends, mga relatives na na-possess, and then you're there, experiencing that thing, or parang wala na?
May mga naririnig akong kwento sa kanila. Actually, 3 tao na sa buhay ko. Nakarinig na ako ng kwento ng possession. Pero hindi ako kasama sa experience nila doon. Ikwento lang nila sa akin. Yung mom ko, I remember nagkwento siya when she was still studying. Medyo bata pa siya dito. All-girls school ata siya. Catholic school. And then, hindi ko maalala kung kasama ba yung mom ko dun sa gate. Pero they were playing Spirit of the Glass. Hindi ko alam kung andyan lang yung mom ko, hindi chismis lang, or participant din siya. Pero nagkwento siya na Spirit of the Glass sila, and then biglang yung isang classmate nila, yung possessed na. And then, meron pa ako isa, yung yaya ko nung baby ako, nagkwento siya na yung anak niya na-possess and nakita pa niyang talagang nag-crawl sa wall talaga. And then, the last person I heard this kwento was from my friend nung college na she went to this resort in Antipolo. Subundok talaga siya. And then, may family member siya, cousin ata, na girl, na habang nagsuswimming sila, bigla siyang possess, and then hindi siya mahila sa tubig. Kasi sobrang bigat niya. And then, when they finally got her out, ang laki ng boses niya. Yeah. As in, very, very deep, scary voice talaga. And she was a small girl daw. Pero ang bigat, for some reason, ang bigat-bigat niya talaga. Tapos nagwawala, and then nga. Sobrang baba ng boses. But so far, wala pa naman ako.
Baka nag-puberty.
No, but thank God, wala akong experience na ganun. Kasi feeling ko, hindi ko alam kung gagawin ko. I think I might just faint. Pag may nangyari sa
Nag-guest kami sa Tonight with Arnold Flavio. Nagkwento si Kuya Igan na yung may ilang beses na raw siya may nakita doon sa mismong studio na end of the day, siya na lang mag-isa doon. Tapos may crew member na dalaga, kamusta? Sabi sa mga actor, ganun. Only to find out that crew member has passed away that same day. So hindi pumasok. Tapos kung tinanong ko, paano yun? Transparent pa siya? Hindi daw, sobrang klaro daw. As in, clear as day. And then, nakausap ka niya, wala siyang idea. Ako din, I've never seen anything like that. Yung apparition na buong buo talaga, di ko rin alam kung gagawin ko sakaling mangyari.
I felt something, but never ako nakita or like just a glance of nakakaramdam lang ako, pero yung makita
Okay, last question to Sir Jude and to the writer. Alam naman natin once we do yung ganitong klaseng film, medyo may mga supernatural thing will happen on the set. How you make sure that safe yung pag-create mo ng film na walang medyo natatakot or magkakaroon ng real possession? Kasi this is a supernatural thing, di ba? Yeah.
I think first of all, at least yung mga stories na hindi ko sa actors and the production team, they actually even bring rosaries and put it in their pockets, just to be sure, right? But on our end, because this was a 20th Century Fox production, so this is actually part of the list of production projects for the global 20th Century Fox. There were some security requirements to ensure that I guess the safety and the way the production was being handled was in accordance to kung ano man yung kailangan gawin on all of our productions. So, in fact, we had a few calls with Unitel, our production group that we had tasked with the LA Security Office on to make sure that the kind of security, tapos lahat ng locations na sinabit namin where we're gonna shoot, di-research lahat yun ng, kasi there's some red flags that happened when they found out we were shooting in the Philippines, because at the time yata Marawi was still very much in the news, so we had to make sure it wasn't in Mindanao. There was some typhoons that had happened. So to answer your question, because it's a 20th Century Fox production, there were some standards that we needed to, I guess, fulfill in order for us to make sure that the staff is safe. Even the number of security people needed to be addressed in all of it. So,
regards to the supernatural aspect, yeah, I've heard the stories, and even as I've mentioned, I've even experienced some weird things. Even I was just writing, and during the pre-production process, we had talked about keeping a priest on set. Although Wong didn't do my schedule, what we actually did was, I was with Direct Mark and with some other digital people. When we were consulting with this one exorcist, like baka sakali na kami, huminta rin kami ng blessed soul, just in case. Hindi ko alam kung nagamit ko. But, oo nga, may tayo din. But yeah, in that regard, we did take some precautions, and they mentioned the rosaries. And yeah, we did have the blessed soul. Although, I don't think, yeah.
Even the incantations that I say, yung mga Latin prayers, diba?
Yeah.
It was made to be after the rosary.
Yeah, because
Walang
slightly altered kasi yun na nga, authorized yung parang gagamit ng mga prayers na yun. So, had to alter para hindi naman sino tong mayabang na ito gumagamit ng prayers panlaban sa amin, pero hindi naman ano. So, we did take some precautions on the spiritual end, on top of the many precautions that 20th Century Fox required.
Alright, alright. Next. Sino po mga magtatanong? Yeah, there you go.
Hello, sir. Well, my first question po siguro kay Sir Jude. Prior to actually making Maledicto, were there like choices for you to actually do different projects? Or was this like the sole thing that you concentrated on? Because, of course, it could have been like a different genre, per se. Why horror, by the way?
yeah, so I guess first of all, we had done local production before, but most of it were documentaries and sports, and some reality stuff. So scripted production was not something that we've done, at least in the Philippines. As far as choosing this, we actually, sinabi ni Jonathan na 2015 niya sinabit ko, we actually started looking for ideas and scripts about a year and a half before that, 2014. So we went through, I don't remember how many, but it must have been close to 100 different scripts. For 1 year, people just kept on going to the office and presenting their idea and their script. I mean, it wasn't a full script at the time. It's really just an outline, an idea on what the story is, and I guess you go on from there, right? So we actually had, to be honest with you, we actually chose something already in 2014-ish, but there was some rights issues on the subject matter because it was an offshoot of a character that somebody else had the rights to. So hindi namin tinuloy because of that. And then this script came along after another 100 scripts siguro. Nung nabasa namin, or at least when we saw the idea, and at the time it was really more for a series, a procedural series. We really just loved it. And hindi namin pinili yung script because of the genre. We just felt that the story in and of itself had so much potential that we wanted to run with this story, and it just happened to be a horror thriller, right? And I wanted it to be more another genre that might not need as many special effects or might not be the cost would be lower, but this was the script that we felt if Fox was to do something for the first time, this was the best that we saw amongst all the ones that was pitched to us.
Who else did the legwork of shooting the film? Was it like a
Who did it?
Unitel or?
Yeah, so most of it is Unitel. Ako personally, I mean, I did want to say this is a very, very fulfilling experience for me. I work for a media network. I work for mostly in my earlier career, really more sports is what I was involved in. But I took this on. This was a semi-directive from our Hollywood studio, where they wanted some of the local markets to look into producing scripted content. And in fact, and I think I've said this in another interview where they really sent us to the Fox lot in Century City in Hollywood. And they had us meet the producers, they had us meet some directors, mostly series pa rin kasi TV network yung namin, not necessarily the movies. So I got to talk to the writer of, at the time, the Fox production, Glee, and then Modern Family, and I got to attend the shoots, sound studios naman siya, right, in the Fox lot. Modern Family, Glee, The New Girl was a Fox production at the time. The Americans was one of the Fox productions. So I got to talk to all of them. And in fact, one of the ones that I spoke with, and now I can't remember her name, came from HBO. She was one of the original writers of Game of Thrones. And they had hired her to produce a series called Wayward Pines for Fox as well. So that she was one of the ones that we got full 2 hours with. Right? And it was very insightful. It was 4 or 5 days in Hollywood, and I think that's when this whole thing started. I think this was 2014. 10 years later, we actually have something to show for it now.
Was it procedural that it actually took that long for you to do
No,
this?
I think it took this long for many, many reasons, which I might not want to get into now. But yeah, there was a decision to convert it to a full feature film from some. I think it started out as a 6-episode
Series.
series. And then, to be honest with you, we also had some choices in directors that didn't work out. And then, it was a long journey. But when we made the decision on the director and then the cast and everything, we ran with it, and it was absolutely a fun, fulfilling, exhilarating experience.
Alright. Siguro kay Tom and of course kay Ina, prior to actually making this film, what were you doing, and weren't you busy while you were doing this stuff?
Actually, akala ko kasi while I was going to shoot for Maledicto, magsasabay siya with Rodriguez. So, buti na lang, I finished this movie first for Rodriguez. So, I had a lot of time to prepare for this movie.
Sana medyo baliktad actually from what happened to you, interestingly enough. I got the material from Popoy, pinasa ko pa lang, not knowing what production outfit or sino yung mga cast na attached. I found the script really, really entertaining. And sabi ko, go ka agad. And I thought, when I first met with sila Mas Madonna, the game, sige, may pa daw, may pa yung start nila. Ano ko pa to, I can chew on the material, really have a lot of time to prepare. Wala naman ako kasabay. Tapos bigla, The Cure. Kasi nung ginagawa na namin shooting, MWF sa The Cure, PKHS sa Maledicto. Until we both wrap, halos sabay. November, both Maledicto and The Cure kind of ended the same time. So it was interesting juggling both Craig and Johnny were completely polar opposites. So I found it refreshing in a way na parang pagkain mo ng ng bongka ng orange pag kumakain pa patanggalumay na direct was walang self-worth, walang self-assurance, he's a geek, he's unsure of himself, whereas Father Javi naman is so sure of himself na minsan sumusobra na. So I found it interesting na tuloy nakakawala ng pagod instead of doing the same thing over and over again. I was going from one set as one person, and you jump into another set as another person, plus with the working conditions and the freedom we had. It felt, I felt so spoiled.
How does it feel to be like, of course, this is something like internationally produced?
Oh yeah, it's definitely an honor. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. I'm in awe that I'm even part of this project. I mean, of course, a lot of the owners and a lot of the gravity of this is because it is a Fox original production. And nakakawitaas ng gano'n. Pero even with the crew, I mean, Sergio was there. Halos lahat ng shooting stuff. He was there to experience it firsthand. The crew was just top notch. A breeze to work with the cast, the crew, the production, and everything was just parang kung nasabi ko siya in one sentence, it felt like pieces of a puzzle that were meant to come together, and it felt like they did.
All right. So, sir, would you mind telling us also? Because I know for a fact that when you're doing exorcism, there are certain taboos that you're not supposed to divulge to ordinary people. And you're talking about actually detailing the work or the things that they do in an exorcism per se. Wasn't there like a conflict between you and some religious group or whoever?
Actually, that was something that was discussed with Fox before when we were discussing the concept.
Mhm.
Yeah, na baka may magalit sa simbahan.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yung original thought was that there's no such thing as bad publicity, but at the same time, we had to ensure then that nobody gets too mad, you know?
Mhm.
So we had to strike a sort of balance, and I tried to be as accurate as possible, but at the same time changing a few details. I wanted it to look and feel like you were glimpsing into something real, even if there were a few off details.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the prayers. It may not be specifically the ones the exorcist actually does, kasi
Okay.
Parang Mr. Robot, like, that was in the first security field. I found their hacking demonstrations there. I mean, logically, correct, the most accurate, and yet, iba pa rin. So it's not one-to-one na ako.
Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
Yeah, you can kasi gamit ka sa bago yun,
Yeah,
diba?
so I think it's just the logic of it. I mean, the procedures are the same. Pero just equivalent para it's still first and that.
Yeah, and also you have to make it more cinematic then, because a lot of the things exorcists do are kind of boring. That is actually the big secret about exorcism. True exorcism is actually kind of boring. Yeah, it's sort of like going to a doctor. Then it becomes exciting when you get that one odd extreme case. Yeah, although in the Philippines apparently the extreme cases are higher than usual. Yeah, higher than usual. I don't know if it's the norm, but it's higher than usual. Like one of the priests we interviewed, very first exorcism we went to, he goes into the hall of a hospital. Nandun yung doktor sa hall, nandun yung pamilya, nandun din yung pastor. So that the person who was supposed to exorcise was not even Catholic. Sabi niya, oh okay, so ba't sila nandito lahat sa labas? First day on the job, pagpasok niya sa room, naka-levitate yung i-exercise niya. So, these things are exciting. That's the exciting bit. But a lot of it is boring, so we had to spruce it up a bit to make it more exciting. And at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, if you start using the actual real prayers and you're not a priest,
Yeah.
and you have all these strange things that happen on set, you could end up aggravating it, so it's an outward pala. So,
Maybe I can add like a little bit of a Maybe just a little bit of a side note or an insight. You mentioning that the extreme cases in other countries here seems to be the norm. Maybe it has something to do with that there's a line that Father Javi cites in the movie. Based on Pigafetta's journals that he says when they came here, that the Filipinos were a people that were brimming with spirits. And even when you read some excerpts in the Boxer Codex, which was written in as early as 1583, makikita doon na may mga dinidescribe na yung mga rituals ng mga natives, how they seem to be possessed by spirits and they're drinking, it's almost parang, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this, but it is a book, it's a historic book that orgies, ceremonies, and they were communing with a lot of spirits. So siguro, yung islands natin are really teeming with all of these souls or other elements na yung mga wise sa States, it's a new world na kinolonize nila. May mga certain areas na concentrated din from the Latin, the Hispanic, or the Native American na mga influences. Pero tayo dito are parang each island concentrated whereas doon may mga pockets na mga vortices na talagang sites or areas na high yung na parang extreme yung mga cases. I don't know what the proper term.
Medyo, I was actually just a little afraid about people considering this like a Bible of doing it. So they would actually do it in person and, you know.
Actually, like my analogy with Mr. Robot, it was a sin. And I've been studying since I was in high school regarding network security, so mga ethical hacking and stuff like that. Whenever I watch movies about hacking, especially even hackers in the 90s, so often, and it's just a visual representation, even the process na ginagawa nila, hindi pareho. And yet when I watched Mr. Robot, that was the closest to the real thing that I saw. They use a terminal, that the commands actually make sense, but there's skewed in a way na parang mas friendly siya sa viewer, and at the same time, hindi siya magagamit in straight line. Although the thought and the logic is the same. For me, reading the script, I found that it was the same. Now, although the procedures and some of the contracts and the logic through the exercise of these procedures might be utilized, yung prayers are kind of hurt or parang tinanggalan yung edges na. So for example, yung mga prayer namin, if I remember correctly, it was Deus humanico detora, quo defensor, spinge, super, fabula tua, tuam, imagine informasti. Like, oh man, it sounds scary. Nung tinag-research sa Google, hindi ko mahanap. Kaya tinanong ko pa sila, yung card na may nasa set kami, and they told me nga na may paspas yun, na they use it that way para it won't call any real entities or spirits. And yet, it's still a true prayer. In fact, some of them now were more of a hidden parang blessing ng mga prayers. Just in case some people do recite or repeat, there won't be any harm or death.
Kasi baka biglang magkaroon ng resurgence ng mga witchcraft practicing people sa Philippines. Ayun lang, thank you.
Alright, thank you. Yes, please.
Hello, good afternoon, I'm Chan. So my question is, actually for all of you, before filming, do you personally believe on the concept of exorcism? And after filming, ano yung nabago in terms of your belief?
Before doing the movie, because I've heard so many stories now, and I've also watched, hindi kasi ako sa documentaries. So, especially when I, knew that I was gonna be in the movie, syempre research ko lahat yun. And I'm a fan of horror movies, and when I really like the movie, nire-research ko talaga siya. And I think the first horror movie that I watched was The Exorcist. As in, yun talaga yung pinakaunang horror movie na pinanood ko. I was watching it with my lola and my siblings. So, syempre, nire-research, diba? How I know for our first movie, diba? So, syempre, right after watching, nire-research ko talaga siya. I do believe that there are entities. I do believe that there are spirits. But, and I think, in some way, it's important to do with exorcism. And for me, right after the movie, mas naintindihan ko yung importance nun and being in the shoes of someone who's possessed, nakakapagod talaga. Ako ay an actor lang and ginagawa ko lang yung mga eksena ko na napossess ako. But what more for a person who's really possessed nakakabasa ako ng mga behaviors na when they're possessed, they hurt themselves. Pinapagod talaga nila yung katawan nila. So, I believe in it. And I truly respect what they're doing. Sinihirap talaga. Sobrang hirap na ginagawa nila. It's also a matter of life or death situation. So, pinipigay ako sa
I'm more of the person who I can't say for sure definitely kasi parang limited yung kaalaman ko when it comes to that. Although parang pabalik-balik, almost similar to actually Father Joby. That became my entry point into the character. Since he's dealing with these two polar opposite na parang beliefs within himself. What he grew up with and what he's come to know. So he grew up with religion and the belief in the supernatural as well, tied to it. And his love of the scientific method and being pragmatic and thinking through stuff logically. Sa akin, may parang ganun fight in na all throughout my life, I've had experiences that I can't explain. Some experiences that I've shared bilang sa akin. There were incidents na may napapanaginitan kami na ako sa kanya dalawang ate ko sabay-sabay na we would scream waking up at night. May nakakita kaming anino ng babae and it's just a shadow figure, darker than dark. Na a figure I've seen so many times and yet it feels so real. I'm not lying about it and I know it in my heart. So it must be true. And at the same time I ask myself, teka baka my instruments are faulty lang, baka naman coincidence lang, napanaginipan ko lang talaga, or maybe we influence each other without trying, but the memory is so vivid and so real that when I close my eyes and look back to it, I still see the figure there. So, doon ako nag-aano na parang until now, I'm gonna be 32. And up to this point, I still don't know if that really happened or not. It's there in my mind, all those experiences feel so real to me. But the thing is, your personal truth and objective truth are two different things. So siguro yun yung struggle ko lagi at struggle din ni Father Joby. Kung ano yung provable na may pupunta mo sa isang laboratorio, you can go through it, mag-double-blind experiment ka, pwede mo study, you say, okay, yeah, meron ka, may hunting. Or the personal truth that you have, that's true to you as well. Na walang makakapagsabi sa'yo na, hindi, pwede yan, because you went through it. So how do you reconcile those two different things? For me, lagi may push and pull. The only thing I can analogize it with is, para nag-trend sa tubig. Parang lumalaway lang na gano'n, constantly shifting from the air and the water below. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm sorry for not doing it.
But after filming, does it change anything for you in terms of your
In my belief, yun I'm 32 and up to this point, I still don't know. I mean, growing up, I saw a lot of cases of possession in our school. It was St. Mary's College na ngayon in Catalogan, Samar, pero dati it was Sacred Heart College, which is a 4-story school built on top of a graveyard right next to a prison. So, spirit of kamoy kami sa third floor kung saan may nagpapakita daw. And sometimes we think we see stuff, pero maybe it's just us scaring each other. So may mga ganun now, I'm 32. I've done the film, I had so much fun doing it, but to this point, I still don't know if it's like what cases in the past, like the exorcism of Emily Rose, the one that they used, the case study that they used, the audio file is still on YouTube, but it's sobrang nakakakilabot. And andun pa rin ako, honestly right now, I can't tell if it's real or if it's something that can be explained by science or medicine. And at this point, I don't think I'm qualified to answer it.
in terms of psychologically or emotionally, how it affects you as a lifestyle?
Oh, well, ngayon, nagsusunod na ako ng Charles pang protect sa sarili ko. Dati hindi ngayon. Better be safe na. Kasi I had, I don't think any of the press that's here now was there at the time when we were shooting Temptation Island in Ilocos. And there was an incident, we were with a lot of press and they wrote about it. They all were convinced that I got possessed. But for me, it didn't feel that way. I felt like I was just sick and incoherent, pero hindi ako makapagsalita. And I knew what I wanted to say, pero hindi, parang nagpababal ng gano'n. All of a sudden, when we were at ancestral house of Juan Luna, dinala kami doon sa past. And we were all going through it, and it was nice. You see the easel ni Juan Luna, you see his palette with all of the calcified oil paints doon. So I'm like, man, this is so wild, this is so cool. Until the group walked in front nauna na, may isang room doon na, teka, hindi pa natin pumuntahan, wala na sila. Pag silip ko gano'n, boom! First thing na nakita ko, sarili ko in an old mirror, and it just felt so heavy, and like my whole body just started ringing. Kaya lumabas ako agad doon, sabi ko, guys, I'm weird, I love this place, but are you guys into that room? It's kind of weird feel to it. So let them want to go, ayaw na nila. So sabi na, sige, baba na, tawag na kami kasi kakain na daw, so may parang order sa labas. So pababa na kami, nag-uusap kami yung sila na, oh, saan ako sa I can't even emulate it now, but wala na, nagpapapal na ako, I couldn't articulate what I wanted to say. Tapos bigla daw ako nagkakaroon ng beads of sweat. So I wanted to sit down, I was feeling really dizzy and really sick, and then I didn't know where I was. Tapos sabi ko, pupunta lang ako ulit sa van, papahinga lang ako sa dito. Okay ka lang ako, hindi okay lang ako, tapos si Alfred nagsabi, hindi okay yan, hindi okay sila dyan. But nagtawag si, ata nun, si Dr. Ayong Marcos pa the time, nagpatawag si Shusto ng brought the whole crew there. Nagpatawag siya ng parang albularyo. And I remember she went inside the van, tapos she held my relatives, started chanting prayers, tapos ginagano ako ng parang vegetables sa katawad. Tapos all of a sudden, I was fine in that instant. When she went up to me and started the incantation. So I don't know. At this point, that's my, but better be safe. May dala-dala na ako lagi.
Okay. So, ngayon naman wala ka nararamdaman.
No. Pero gusto mo, makalag ako prayers, pray over you. Para safe.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.